So welcome to part 2 of my massive personal highlights from recent figure festivals. So in this video I will be talking about Wonder Festival Summer 2023, which had a lot more figures than the first two lists combined, so I had to dedicate a second video to it. So if you haven't yet, I definitely recommend watching part 1 of this two-part video, just because at the very end I will be going over, quickly, for the most part, some figures that I'm kind of leaning towards pre-ordering or I'm just anticipating like the most. Of course, those figures are subject to change, I'm not guaranteed to pre-order them just because of price point and also release date. That will play a factor on whether or not I pre-order those figures in the future. So without further ado, let us get into this very long video. Sit back, relax, and I hope you all don't mind listening to me ramble about figures for about an hour. So now we're moving on to my much bigger list, which is the Wonder Festival 2023 Summer, where I have 53 items to talk about. Again, hoping to blitz through some of these that I'm not really anticipating. So let's start off with, there's two garage kits of the same character, but we have the Genshin Impact Zhongli. Sorry if I butcher his name, 1/7. Yeah, again, it's a garage kit, but holy hot damn, he looks fine as hell. This one looks excellent. Yeah. I mean, just what I'm seeing from whoever painted this, I think it looks stunning. Yeah, the back, look at all the detail. I believe this is just based on his sort of summon art. Again, I haven't really played Genshin. I worry that if I get into that, I'll want more from the series in terms of merchandise and figures. But even then, I still pre-ordered the what was it? The Zhao figure. Oh, is this a bootleg? Oh my god, okay. Interesting that they have a bootleg version, but yeah, I think this looks excellent. I really hope a manufacturer picks this up. So yeah, that's the first one of him, and the second one we have the Chen Shi Keifu version. I am sorry if I butchered that one. Where he's just kind of sitting on this hand, and it looks excellent. That's all I gotta say. He looks so excellent. You can see the wrinkles and folds, especially on his body. It looks absolutely gorgeous. God, it's you have two different choices, and I feel if you're on a budget, you can only pick one. I mean, if someone were to make these, I'd really like both, because I think they look fantastic. Oh, it looks so good. He does look super good. I think that's a bootleg. We're just gonna, or that someone just painted. They bought the garage kit and they painted it themselves. I shouldn't assume it's a bootleg, but yeah, that looks excellent. It looks so fantastic. So many talented sculptors that deserve to get picked up by manufacturers. So yeah, just want to point those two out because I think, they both look excellent overall. Now we're moving on to some smaller figures. So I'm excited for my cute little cat girl Kinako, who is getting a bunch of small sort of dress-up figures. They're called, this is the palette series is what they're calling it. And actually in those Kinako dojins that I went over in my merch videos, they actually do have the artwork that these silhouettes are based off of. I think some of them, I think the middle one on this I don't really recognize. So yeah, I might quickly pop up which are which on this. So I think one of them, she's supposed to be in a little witch outfit. I know she has a Christmas outfit as well. And I did actually pre-order the Kinako Tiger version that recently went up for pre-order. And it's on the cheaper side. It's under 100 USD figure, so I'm why not? We'll see how the quality is. And she looks absolutely adorable in those pictures. So yes, I'm very interested to see more little cute Kinako figures in different outfits, and I'll probably be collecting them all because I really love how cute she is. After that, I do have the other ones saved as drafts, so we'll skip through those. We have this one by Ribos. It just says original. but I recognized the art style immediately, and this is the same artist who did the Minahoshi-chan character design. So this is kind of supposed to be like a dog character, dog-human character. That's the best way I can describe it, so yes. So far from this sculpt, it's very cute. Probably going to be an under 100 USD figure, so yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this one, painted and colored. Next up, already starting off with some massive 1/4s. We have the Ruby, I believe it's called like Ice Queendom, Ruby Rose B-Style 1/4 by Freeing. So we have a massive Ruby scale figure. I'm wondering if there's any, probably some better pictures. Okay, apparently there's not. I might, if I find any like better pictures, like if this is like the only one in MFC, I might just hold it on the screen right here and just like put them up as I'm talking about them. But yeah, again, it's a scythe figure. I do think it looks nice. A lot of people have been saying that the pose is kind of awkward, like she's kind of like leaning back a little bit, and I do agree. It's a little bit like stiff and a little bit awkward. I don't think I'll be picking this up as much as I do like scythe figures, and the fact that this is a figure with, you know, it's going to be a very large scale figure with a large scythe. It's going to be very expensive, and you know, just because the pose I feel like is just really not that appealing. Base looks nice with all like the red swishes with the rose petals on them, but yeah. Maybe they'll fix up the pose a little bit if they see people complaining about it, but for now, it's gonna be a skip. So now moving on to the next two from the same series that I'll be talking about. This is the Kobayashi Quetzalcoatl B-Style by Freeing. So Lukua is getting a 1/4 figure, and at first when I saw her, I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't quite dig it as much. Again, it's like the simple bunny suit, and again, I do feel like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bit spoiled with like the binding bunnies and how like unique their outfits are. But for this Luca one, I do quite like the pose, and the winking expression is cute, and so far the gradient on the hair looks pretty nice. Again, this is kind of just one of those figures, I mean, I wouldn't order anyway, but I'm also kind of maybe not a fan of like the whole ears and horns on the head. It just feels cluttered. I kind of complained about this with the Power one, the Power 1/4 figure. It just feels like cluttered. This one I think it's because if the horns are spaced out, it's fine. Powers were like literally right in front of the ears, which I wasn't too big a fan of. And I guess with this Lukua bunny, they did kind of cut down the breast cups a little bit to accentuate her assets, so there is that. But yeah, if you're a big Lukua fan, I'm sure you'll be very happy about this one. And also, I guess kind of quickly, I do want to talk about one more, which I didn't save onto here, because I thought I could just easily, yeah, okay. The Kana 1/4, also by Freeing. So, some people have mixed opinions about this, and it's mostly because they thought, oh, they should have gone the Madoka 1/4 figure route, where, you know, Madoka was wearing like a dress, and so it was like Homura, and it was a very cutesy, and this one they just put Kana in a, you know, standard bunny outfit with tights. Kana is kind of a, obviously a lolly character, so that's why some people like having mixed opinions about it. Doesn't quite bother me too much, but I understand people's complaints. I do kind of like this sort of dark, it feels like she's like some dark purple to her in like the gloves and the ears, which I think is kind of cute, and the shoes. Well, as I'm looking at this picture, I feel like her legs look quite dark. And I'm not too sure if that's just like the photo, the lighting, or the stockings are just making it look dark. But yeah, that's just something to keep an eye on. But yeah, again, I just wouldn't really want to pick these up. I do like the series. It's definitely a very gorgeous series, but I don't feel like picking up any 1/4s from them. After that one, we have this sort of set of Vocaloid figures. I just saved the Miku one for the moment, but these are by Hobbymax, and it seems like they're kind of doing like the same thing they did with Radio Ava, where they have these illustrations of characters in streetwear clothing, and they are going to turn them into figures. And so far we just have Miku, Luca, Rin, and Len, kind of hoping for Kaito, and you know, also Mako. They're not a part of this set. I do kind of like the outfits. They're very colorful, and I do like the illustrations I see, so we're gonna have to see how these guys look as actual figures. Next, we have another Bunny Miku. This is the Hatsune Miku B-Style 1/4 Sanmu YYB Kaki Oroshi version by Freeing. So another Bunny Miku. I do of course have the Project Diva My Dear Bunny version of Miku, which I absolutely love. This one I do like. I'd say not as much as the other one, but yeah. I kind of like the outfit. She kind of has, again, the black and white vibe kind of going for her, and the hair sculpt I think looks great so far. Yeah, and even the outfit has some like nice little details on it. It does have like a little name tag, and there's some like triangular patterns on it. And yeah, I think the hair sculpt does look great. Some people, I feel like, may not like the pose. I do feel like it's a smidge, a little bit weird. I do kind of like how she is kind of holding up some of her hair. I don't think I'll be picking this up, and it's also kind of a figure that looks like it's going to take up a lot of backspace just because of how far back the hair is going. But if you do like Miku and Bunny outfits, I guess you have this one to look forward to. And after that, we just have an illustration, which is the Melterena girl, Mitako by Wonderful Works, so an original character. Kind of combines two of my favorite things, which are black and white aesthetics in, like, you know, the hair or maybe in like outfit, and also heterochromia. So, you know, I like the outfit, I like what I'm seeing, and, you know, she's got some nice, like, you know, sharp claws like a cat. So very much interested to see how this one is going to look as a figure. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on her. So next up, we have two that I'm very much anticipating, because this continues Saitom's devilishly fashionable line. That's such a hard word to say. But we have now by Alphamax, or SkyTube, the blue. So yeah, we have this character design, and I do of course have the, from this line, the Stella by Max Factory, the Lufia by Max Factory, and then the Kelly by Freeing. So it's kind of nice that they're continuing this line, because I feel like it's been a really long time since they made figures from this series. And this is pretty much like the character design we have to look forward to. Really love the design overall, so, you know, I'm probably going to pick this one up. And after that, we have this one, which I had to kind of change, because apparently it's not safe for work, but it really isn't, to be honest. This is the Rose by SkyTube. It's not going to show up on my thing. So yeah, we're just going to have to look at the original, like, illustration, but whew, yeah, I think, again, excellent. I do kind of like the red and the white and just this character's design overall. I mean, I feel like it's not super not safe for work. So yeah, because I had a failed recording where I realized, oh, where is this one? And I had, because I changed the filter to safe for work for this video, but honestly, it's not too bad. It's not too not safe for work. So yes, very interested in picking those two guys up in the future. And after that, we have these two, which surprised me. Oh, and they're actually, I didn't realize they were 1/4. We have the Ping Yi 1/4 bunny version by Alphamax. So there's two of them in this. It's gonna kind of be hard to see, but I actually do have these characters already, and they're part of Tony's, who's the illustrator, musical girl set, and I actually do have these characters. So we're gonna look at the original illustration, which actually isn't not safe for work, and this is how she's looking. Yeah, it's a pretty nice outfit overall, and I do kind of like the flowers in her hair. I guess I can quickly go to the other one if I can find it. I'll have to go to the original illustrator's page. And the other one is the Jin Leon 1/4, also by Alphamax, who looks like this. Yeah, very nice pose. I like the black and the gold, and that's actually, I believe these two like outfit designs in terms of the color scheme are the ones I picked for the Musician Girl line of them. So yes, I don't know if I'm gonna pick these up, because I do like their designs and I do really like the outfits, but it's like I have them as the 1/6 Musician Girls, so we'll see. But so far, the this very small, pathetic picture as unpainted prototypes. I think they look very nice overall. And I didn't also realize that they were 1/4, so that's also kind of nice. I thought they were going to be like 1/6 bunny figures or something like that. Next up, we have this Ramelia Scarlet figure by Apex Innovations, which I really like the vibe of. It's very like the colors are very dull. It's very like, I don't know how else to describe it, like grungy a little bit, and like it's a nice design. And like the eyes, I really do like what this is based off, like the original like illustration, I guess, if it is based off of one. But yeah, I think, yeah, if you're a big Ramelia fan, I feel like this is a nice one to pick up. The only thing is though, I have the Flanger Scarlet by Alter, and I want to pick up the Ramelia to go with her, so, you know, and I only really want one Ramelia figure, and that one is going to be my definitive figure of her. So, as much as I love this design, I'm going to have to skip it. Next up, we have a Power figure, which is with also Nyako by Fat Company, which is kind of a weird one. I do like the pose that Power is in. Let's see if I can find better pictures. Yeah, I do like the pose Power's in, and in the background, I think it's supposed to be saying like "Pup Power," and Nyako holding on for dear life on one of her blood spears. I think this figure would be fine. I just kind of hate the one blood spear that's on where Power's right foot is. I think, to me, it's a little bit unnecessary, and it just like adds extra, like, you know, it takes up extra space. So yeah, and plus on this Power figure there's like this big seam line going on her arm that's going straight up. So yeah, and plus this is Fat Company, they're most likely going to delay the heck out of this, so yeah. And again, I'm probably going to get that Power resin figure, so like I'm fine without this one. So now we have this one that's actually by Sega, so the S-Fire series, and that is the Chainsaw Man and Samurai Sword S-Fire Super Situation figure by Sega, which I have to say, just looking at this picture, I think it looks very impressive. And there isn't really, if you really like, I think Katana Man, Samurai Sword, whatever you want to call him, there really isn't any like scale figures of him, so if you don't mind investing into this sort of like, you know, scene from Chainsaw Man, and you really want, I guess, a scale of him, then I guess you have to kind of go with this one. Honestly though, yeah, I think it's actually like quite impressive overall from what I'm seeing. It is definitely going to be on the way more expensive side compared to the other S-Fire figures, because I guess this subset of them, which is that Super Situation like label, that's going to be like an extra cost. Denji looks good. I kind of like the pose he's in. So yeah, I think this one actually is fantastic. I'm not going to pick it up, but from what I'm seeing, I feel like I just admire the way this one looks overall. Some people, yeah, 50,000 to 60k yen. So that's what people are estimating. Next, we got another kind of surprise B-Style announcement, which is the Satsuki Kiryuin B-Style by Fraying once again. So from Kill la Kill, and yeah, I don't know how, like, I mean, from this like illustration, I'm like, not really too interested in it. I mean, who knows if it goes up, we'll see, you know, for pre-order, or like, you know, I have to see the actual figure at the end of the day. But it's right now just, again, the standard black bunny suit. And yeah, some people are doing edits in like different like color schemes, so there's that. Also, I guess I will quickly also point out that they announced Mako as well. Also kind of in a standard bunny outfit. I do think her wrist cuffs look different. I noticed one is like, I think a star or something. But I don't know, like, again, it's kind of just, again, I'm spoiled by binding, so yeah, that's why, you know, standard black outfits. You know, we'll see when they go up as actual figures. And after that, we have this Nekopar figure set. I mean, I just saved the Chocolate, but yeah, the Chocolate and Vanilla 1/7 Yumikawa China version by Claynell. So we're just gonna go off this illustration. Super duper cute. It does kind of have like a little bit of like a, you know, I shouldn't say sweets theme, but it just gives off a sort of sweet vibe to it. So this comes as a, oh yeah, okay. I think I'll go back to that picture. But yeah, there are two separate figures. Maybe you can buy these as a set, but I do quite dig the outfits overall. I think they look super duper cute. But I already actually have a chocolate and vanilla figure, so I don't feel like investing into other ones. Next up, we have two kind of surprise ones. I don't know if these were like listed anywhere, but I just thought I'd throw them in. Again, I use Ruru berries as sort of my point of reference, because they, you know, they organize like all the figure festivals and such into like lists, and I don't think I saw these on here, but I'll point these out. But this is the Bomber Girl Rainbow Prune 1/6 Belly Dancer version by Wing. So a character I'm not too familiar with. I think this is like the first figure I've seen of this character. But from like what I've seen of like the Grim Aloe Belly Dance version and how I really like her sculpt so far, you know, I'm sure Wing will do a fantastic job. Okay, never mind. There is the full kind of body version. It does feel a little bit more awkward, to be honest, like her pose and such. Also, her proportions seem very weird in this like illustration, so yeah, not one I want to pick up. And I guess I can show, what this character looks like normally, which is this. She's kind of like a nurse sort of character. And then the other one that showed up was Pine, Belly Dancer version. And I do quite like Pine's character design. I do have a figure of her. Yeah. Okay, interesting kind of pose as well. It doesn't look like she's gonna have like the tail sparkler at the end, but yeah. But I think my favorites for this set so far of like the Belly Dancer figures, I have to say the Grim Aloe I think still looks nice. I think it's just the poses for these two just look a little bit weird to me, so yeah. Gonna probably be skipping those two. Next up on the list we have another S-Fire figure. It just says Hatsune Miku S-Fire, but this sort of design for Miku, which I'll pull up the original illustration, which looks like this. So far, like in terms of like the design, I really do like the sort of theme with the maple leaves. I believe that's what they are, but yeah, it's just a nice overall outfit for Miku. And yeah, so let's see other pictures. I do kind of like how they kept the scroll base. You know, they did have to obviously can't capture the whole thing, but you know, they did take some elements like obviously the maple leaves and the scroll, and they kept it into the figure, which I think is nice. So far what I'm seeing from this, I think she looks great overall, and I'm interested to see her colored. After that, we have another S-Fire announcements. Okay. The Aki Ryoko version, I guess? That's not the name of the illustrator, that's just the name of the figure. Definitely kind of gives like a, very like wintry kind of vibe a little bit, but I do like the artwork I'm seeing from this one. Next up, we have one I'm super excited for because it is the third in the Mushroom Girl line of figures, which is the Mushroom Girl series Tomogitake 1-to-1 figure by Reverse Studio as the manufacturer. And of course, this is once again illustrated by Star Shadow Magic, one of my new favorite artists. So going to the pictures, like absolutely adorable. I like, you know, she's like, looks like she's traveling. She's got these mushroom, like, you know, the mushroom umbrella, which is kind of like leaning a little bit, and it's got like two of them on the umbrella. But she looks so, these look so precious. These are like instant pre-orders for me. I kind of would recommend pre-ordering. I feel like figures from Reverse Studio if you're really interested in them. Mostly because like I try finding these on Buy, and I'm just having a tough time searching for them. Plus I feel like these are like 130 USD, which I think is like, you know, not too bad for what you're getting, so yes. So far we have 3 of the 8 done, so I'm interested to see which of these lovely little girls are next. So yeah. Again, very excited. She's already painted. We'll just have to see when she goes up for order because I'll most likely be ordering her. After that, we have this Toga figure, which is already up for pre-order, but the Himiko Toga 1/7 sepia version by Spiritel. So Spiritel already has this Toga figure in like a different colored version. I honestly do quite like this sepia toned version of the figure. I don't know, it just looks like visually appealing to me. I might say I like this maybe slightly more than the original. Toga's colors are a little bit toned down a little bit, and I do kind of like the red chains that they use. And yeah, I think it looks overall like fantastic. If you missed out on the first one, then I guess you have a second chance at it if you don't mind getting this sort of different colored version of her. But for me, you know, I'm not too big into My Hero Academia, but, you know, so that's why I'm just gonna skip this one just to save some money. Next up, we have the other Rainbow figure that I was kind of looking forward to, which is by FNex. So this is a sort of Sakura version, which I really love the design of. So this is the original illustration. Just like the Sakura design is fantastic on her. And yeah, it looks fantastic so far. My only gripe with it, as I'm looking through pictures, is that the pose is a little bit awkward. And I understand that they took it from like that original illustration, but from the front, it actually, like this, it looks fine. But I feel like certain angles, it kind of looks a little bit weird. Like maybe like this angle, like the eyes look a little bit weird. This one, I feel like they tried to take it a little bit down, and it doesn't really look too good. So yes, I feel like this is the kind of figure that looks good at like very specific angles. Like this one doesn't look too bad, but yeah. But the Sakura motif, I really love just the Sakura details. I'm a sucker for Sakura. The base is a cherry blossom. It just looks nice overall. I really hope it's not too expensive though. So next one, we have kind of a much more voluptuous character, let us say, and it's part of the Elf Village series. So this is Mama Tiana by Vertex. So I believe there is some... Okay, I don't think we're going to be able to see it. It shouldn't be super... No, okay, well, I mean, that's just someone's user, like, photo thing. But yeah, they do kind of have, like, a sort of, like, digital version of the character, but, definitely very mommy, I will say that much. She's definitely pretty thick, and the one reason why I put this on the list is because she has this gorgeous scythe. It looks stunning, and I don't really, like, I feel like I'm fine with the character design. I mean, in terms of, like, comfortableness, you know what I mean? So I'm interested to see, I'm interested to see how much this is, because, whoo boy, she's definitely very thick, and, you know, again, I think the scythe definitely catches my eye, so we'll see how this goes. I believe this series of figures, aftermarket-wise, I think they tend to go down, or they stay the same, so I might wait for her to release and possibly pick her up, but yeah. I feel like this has to be, like, one of my more interesting choices to put on this list, let's just say that. Next up, we have the two design Coco figures that have been put as prototypes. The first is the Hatsune Miku 1/7 Japan Tour 2023 Thunderbolt, again by Design Coco, which looks stunning so far. The individual, like, hair strands that Miku has and just the sculpt looks fantastic overall. Definitely one of my, like, more anticipated Mikus, because yeah, look at this design. It looks gorgeous. Really hoping it's not as much as that Virtual Stars Miku, but yeah, look at that skull. This is a nice picture to look at. Yeah, so far she's looking absolutely stunning. I did notice there is this sort of like seam line. It's massive. I really hope they patch that up. But yeah, other than that, glaring seam line. I think this looks excellent. I'm really looking forward to seeing this painted, and please don't be super expensive. I mean, it probably is, but not as expensive as the that Virtual Stars Miku. Next, also by Design Coco, we have the Senbon Sakura Miku. Looks nice so far. The base doesn't look too big, which is nice, but obviously Miku's flowing pigtails going back are going to take up a bunch of space. So yeah, this is the artwork. Again, I do like this version of Miku. Yeah, so far it looks very nice, and I do kind of like the, obviously, the Sakura pattern in her outfit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I feel like it really shouldn't be super expensive. And yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to get like a Senbon Sakura figure of Miku. I know there is that 1/8 freeing one, which I think might be a little bit more expensive aftermarket wise. I cannot remember for the life of me, but you know, this is kind of like a sort of updated Senbon Sakura Miku. Next, we have this one right here, the Azure Lane Boys B-Style 1/4 Emerald of Shyness by freaking Union Creative. So yeah, I think I just really like the blue and just like this outfit overall. It's very cute. It is made by, again, Union Creative. I don't know why some of these are like, it's not super not safe for work, so I don't know why some people are tagging them as much. What the fuck? Okay. Do we just not have like this? Okay. I'm just gonna stick with this one. But yeah, I do like the outfit. I do like the color of her hair. She does look super cute. But I think Azure Lane like B-styles tend to go down in the aftermarket. I did notice like the one that's not really a bunny, which is like that Zara figure. I see her like tank in price, so I'm like, I'm gonna probably wait on this one. But I do like the design and what I'm seeing overall. After that, we have this one that I've been keeping an eye on just to see it painted, which is the Girls Frontline Neural Cloud Florence by Fat Company. And I really do like the overall color scheme for her, and it's pretty simple. You know, there is like a bigger illustration to this one where, again, she has like all this medical stuff in the background, but they just kind of simplified it to her on this just wheelie. And I have to say, I do quite like the face and like the details. She's got these two fangs, and the hair sculpt is very nice, and I do kind of like how sort of translucent it is. And yeah, I think it looks fantastic. But again, this is made by Fat Company, where, yeah, sorry, I had to zoom in on the face. I think it looks fantastic. But again, it's by Fat Company, so expect the inevitable delays. But I think right now she looks absolutely gorgeous. And next, we have this Marin scale figure, which really caught my attention for the overall sculpt, and this is one by Spirit Tail, so this is Marin in another like cosplay. God, but that sculpt of Marin and her face, I think looks excellent. Really caught my attention. I really want to see this one painted, but yeah, look, I think this looks excellent. Excellent sculpt work. I mean, there is like a little bit of messiness there. Obviously they'll fix it up, but I do really like just her face overall in this one. I think it looks perfect, so, you know, interested to see her overall just painted and just seeing all the paintwork done. And yeah, I think it's a nice sort of Marin figure in a cosplay. Next up we have, another S-Fire figure, Denji and Pochita, from one of, like, Tatsuki Fujimoto's most, like, iconic pictures of the two. They weren't supposed to be pictured, but yeah. So yeah, I guess, you know, this is probably going to be on the more, you know, inexpensive side, hopefully, but I think it looks nice overall. It's obviously a translation of that illustration, so I guess if you want a figure of that illustration, you have that to look forward to. Next, we have a figure that I actually did pre-order, which is the Toho Cerno 1/7 Summer Frost version by Solar Toys. Super adorable. I already really like the colors on her. Again, the sweets theme with her sitting on this ice cream with these two sort of like chocolate sticks and in a waffle cone, and she's eating like a watermelon ice cream. I think looks super adorable overall. Let's see. Let's actually get some pictures from the event. Yeah, it's super duper cute. Yeah, I do notice that there's like a seam line on her hair. So there's that, and I do like the sort of translucentness on her wings. So yeah, this figure is 130 USD, which I think is, you know, not too bad overall. 148 total with shipping from Good Smile, where you do get these bonuses, which is like an acrylic stand and a card of authentication. But there's also this alternate version of her, the Hiyake version, which I think is an event exclusive, but this is just Cerno with a, you know, tan skin. It's chocolate ice cream. The sticks are now white chocolate, and she has these sort of vines with flowers on them, and she also has like a little sunflower sort of bow, kind of, to replace her bow. I do think it's cute. I'm like, oh no, there's two different versions, but I think I'm fine just sticking with the other one. Yeah, event limited, so that's just the one thing. So I'm interested to see this in the aftermarket because it is such a limited figure. But yeah, I am perfectly fine with sticking to the original version of her. Next up, we have this one, which is still not painted, but I thought I'd point it out because they did show it off. The Spirit Tail Miku, that's just the name of it, there is no specific name. But yeah, I really love this one. It definitely has like a whole like artsy vibe, maybe it's because she's holding like a sort of like equivalent to a Wacom pen. And yeah, this one I'll most likely be pre-ordering because this design is super duper cute overall. Spirit Tail figures, at least what I've seen with the Miku ones, they do tend to go up quite a bit. I really want that Sakura Miku by Spirit Tail, but it's just so expensive, which is unfortunate that I missed out on it. So I'm most likely going to order this one just so I don't have to face the aftermarket when it comes to this figure. You know, if it's bad, I just don't want to take that risk. After that, another Spirit Tail figure, which is the Hatsune Miku 15th Anniversary Star version, which I think looks gorgeous overall. I do like the coloring that I'm seeing, and the base looks absolutely fantastic. And I really like the design for this one. So yeah, unfortunately, you know, I guess I'll give some close-up of the prototype, but the face looks excellent. All these little details, like the headphones and on her outfit as well. I think it's an overall excellent sculpt for this figure. And yeah, I'll just quickly bring up again. The colors look absolutely gorgeous. I love that gradient in her hair. Again, this gold on the base looks fantastic. It even has like a whole bunch of like constellations on there. So now looking at this in this video, I'm a little bit torn on whether I want to pick this up or not. I do think it's gorgeous, but again, I feel like I have to pick and choose when it comes to Miku figures. But if you're a big fan of this, you know, the original illustration, I feel like Spirit Tail is going to do you justice with this figure. Next up, we have this Ruby figure, which I think is, yeah, finally colored by Fat Company. And I do like the pose. It is kind of on this white base with the name of, you know, the series and these rose petals. And you do have kind of this long, clear support rod, which kind of gets in the way of her boot. I don't mind the effect part too much, and I think the way Ruby looks color-wise, I think is pretty nice. I do have some gripes with it. I don't think we have, yeah, we don't have another picture. I'll just stick with this. I just don't like the way the cape looks. I think the way it's just flown up, I think it's like kind of weird, kind of awkward. I wish it was maybe a little bit more down behind her a little bit instead of just like kind of flowing straight up. So yeah, unfortunately, like looking at this now colored, and just the way the cape looks, and just some like little nitpicks I have, I'm most likely gonna skip this. And again, Fat Company, they may or may not delay it, so there's that. After that, we have one I'm quite excited for that has a prototype. A very blurry prototype, unfortunately, which is the Suiyu, I believe, 1/7 by Wing. So yeah, sculpt looks excellent. She's supposed to be kind of like a dragon girl. Like, look at this design. This looks absolutely stunning. I love the tail. I love the sort of, you know, headpieces she has, and just this outfit looks absolutely fantastic. Definitely a lot of detail that I hope Wing fits into this figure. I believe it's by Suave, who have done this figure, which is the Hatsuaki, which I do like. I was contemplating picking her up. I do really like the design, but I do think I like the Suiyu design a lot more. So yes, I'm very looking forward to seeing this one colored because I really love this character's design so much. After that, we have another one that has been painted, one that I really love the character design for, and that is the Kosaka Wakama 1/7 by Neon Max. And hot damn, I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, all the details in her outfit, the black, the gold, the red color scheme, looks excellent. And are there any other pictures? No. Oops. But yeah, like, this character design looks absolutely stunning. It's probably my favorite of what I've seen of like Blue Archive characters. And I'm also interested to see if the mask will be removable. I might pop up a picture of her without the mask. I think that'd be kind of a neat sort of touch, that you can actually switch her on and off with the mask. But yes, super duper impressed. I'm most likely going to pre-order this. I really hope, you know, price-wise, it's not too bad. But yeah, Neon Max, so far, you know, stunning work from them. After that, we have some Jujutsu Kaisen figures. I said that so fast, but Jujutsu Kaisen figures, we have the Kujisaka Nobara S-Fire, which from this picture, I mean, it's a little bit blurry, but I like the composition. You have like the nail and the blood effect in the background, and I think this is supposed to recreate like one of the you know, final episode scenes from season 1. Yeah, too bad there's nothing on the background of it. Now, the one thing I did kind of notice though is that I do feel like her face is kind of ugly on this one, to be honest, and even like the hair sculpt looks a little bit weird. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see like much better photos of her, but I think the face and just like the head sculpt is kind of killing it a little bit with this figure. Composition and idea-wise, I think it's fantastic, but again, a face on a figure can make or break it, and so far, I feel like the face is breaking this character. So yeah, we need better pictures, and I hope that Sega, you know, improves on this and listens to feedback, so yeah. But still, you know, composition-wise, I think she looks excellent. After that, also from the S-Fire line, we have the Megumi Fushiguro Gyoken S-Fire figure, which looks pretty sick. I think I really like the wolf. I think it's like his black and white wolves like combined into one, and you even have some of the shadow frogs in there. But yeah, I feel like the wolf is definitely like a standout part of this figure, and that's why I kind of wanted to point it out. Yeah, it looks absolutely sick. There's of course the Yuji and the Gojo from this line, but I think they're alright, those two, but I feel like the Megumi and the Nobara one I kind of wanted to point out a little bit more. And face-wise, I think this one is a little bit better. I feel like it's definitely like better than the Nobara. So yeah, kind of a nice like other, you know, Megumi figure if you're interested in picking up figures of him. Next, we have the Komajo, oh my god, Komajo Densetsu Akihiro no Kokyo Kyoku Toho Project Flandra Scarlet 1/8 by QuezQ. So this is the Castlevania style Flandra figure that has been painted, and I do admit, absolutely sick, absolutely crazy looking. I like the wings, how it has those like silver details on them, and like the filigree pattern that's sort of on that. I think that's filigree, and it looks absolutely sick. I really do like it. Again, the only issue is I already have the Alter Flandra, and that's pretty much my definitive figure for this character. But if you really like this sort of like Castlevania spin-off to Toho, and you really like this Flandra design, you know, definitely I'd say a pretty good pickup. She does look very fantastic overall. After her, we have this freaking Monarchy Miku scale, 1/7 by Katie Cole, which I feel like has just, you know, they haven't put her up for pre-order yet, but I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of want to pick her up because I really love the Monarchy Miku design. And I feel like this looks absolutely adorable and fantastic from, you know, the details, the pose is so cute. They even have her like a little suitcase with the golden lake. And yeah, I really love them. I really love that Monarchy Miku design. Price-wise, I really hope it's not super, you know, 200. I really hope it's not 200 USD. But yeah, she's painted. Like, just put her up for pre-order so I can, like, judge on whether or not I want this one, but super duper cute overall. I'm really looking forward to this one being put up for pre-order. Next up, we have another Miku, which is the 1/7 Magical Mirai 10th anniversary figure by Alpha Satellite and Design Coco. Now this figure is absolutely massive. This is the original illustration, which looks fantastic. And I think it's a pretty nice design overall. It's very colorful, very bubbly and bright. But it is definitely very massive. I don't know if it's going to come with this sort of like background card to it. But yeah, while I like this design, it's like, you know, again, I think I'd rather have other Miku figures, but yeah. I think from what I'm seeing from these pictures though, I think she looks like excellent. Yeah, all the sculpts, the gradient in her hair, all these little extra details. Yeah, I think it looks pretty awesome, but again, it's probably going to be super expensive, so it's going to be a skip for me. Next we have one by Prisma Wing. It's the Emilico and Kate Shadow 1/7 figure by Prisma Wing, or Prime One Studios? Yeah, Prime One Studios. Prisma Wing, I guess, is the type of figure it is. But this is from the anime Shadows house, and I just kind of wanted to point this one out for overall like composition and just dynamicness to it. I feel like it recreates like a sort of like scene from, I believe, the opening of the anime or something. Or maybe an illustration, I'm not too sure, but I think this looks absolutely like excellent. I think just the overall sort of composition and design that they're going for is very unique. I kind of like how the characters are kind of like, you know, one's upside down, one's not. I have watched a little bit of Shadow's House, but I haven't finished it, but this looks super impressive. But it's probably going to be super expensive, because these guys are kind of more of like a luxury figure brand, so yeah, I don't want to invest in it a bit, but I do love like this design overall. It's definitely my favorite of the Prisma Wing figures that I've seen. So next up, we have this Spirit Hill Black Rock Shooter figure that finally got painted, the one with the bike, and I really do like what I see. I really like the blue effect pieces, and they kind of have some blue shading under the wheels to give it a lighting effect. And the bike sculpt and Black Rock Shooter sculpt I think look excellent overall. I feel like Spirit Hill does a great job with their sculpts. Like, it just, honestly, they just look so fantastic, so detailed. Nothing looks super duper messy. And yeah, I feel like this bike is no exception. So yeah. Interested to see the price tag on it, and hopefully, you know, they do take into consideration the stability of this one, because yeah, it's a bit crazy and very ambitious. Next we have this one by Broccoli, the Cafe Stella to Shinigami no Cho Akizuki Kana 1/7. I really like the pose of this one. It's kind of simple, and you know, the scythe I feel like I really do like, but I do like what I see in terms of like the sculpt and such, but you know, I'm not too familiar with the series, so we'll have to see about it in the future, but I am a little bit intrigued. Next we have this one by Mimiyoi, which is the Katsuragi 1/4 Night Illuminating Festival version, a character from Azure Lane, and I really do like the energy in this figure. It is based off this original illustration. Looks excellent overall. Again, just so much energy and very cute, and she is sort of jumping with two legs. But if you notice on the figure, they decided to just have her one leg on the ground, which I think is nice because no one wants a 1/4 figure with a lot of support trying to keep it up in the air, because she's probably going to be like pretty heavy. But yeah, the sculpt on this one looks excellent, and you know, there is like, you know, speaking of sort of jumping figures, there was like this Comey one that Good Smile like announced, which she is like jumping up, and both of her legs are in the air. But you have this support rod supporting her from the back, which I'm not the biggest fan of. So I'm glad that they decided to change up the pose and just have her like one leg on the ground, just so, you know, they don't have to worry about things like that. So yes, very interested to see this one colored. I actually really do dig the design. Next we have another Flandra and Rumelia figure, but this is the Gunpuku version by Stepdream, who I'm not too familiar with. But these two look overall excellent from the pictures that I'm seeing. Like, the detail in like Rumelia's eyes I think look fantastic, and the sculpt looks great. I like the shading as well. Yeah, very impressed with these two, and they're 1/6 figures, so they're going to be absolutely massive, and definitely the wings are going to take up a whole bunch of space. So yeah, original illustration looks excellent. So yeah, very big. So if you were looking forward to these guys, be prepared to dedicate a whole bunch of space to them because they're massive, especially the Flandra, because holy crap, those wings are just extremely wide. Like, that's like no joke. That's gonna take up like so much space. And even like the back part of her where the flames are kind of going out the back. Yeah, these are two very heavy, space-heavy figures, so yeah, but if you like, I guess, larger scale versions of these two, then, you know, I'd say go for it. Again, though, I'm not too familiar with this manufacturer, so, you know, even though I think these photos look great, and they both look great, paint-wise and just sculpt-wise, they might turn out differently, so I just probably be careful with that. But yeah, overall super impressed with them, and I believe their bases kind of link together, which is neat. And yeah, so both fantastic. Both are probably going to be very expensive, especially if you want to get them together, but you know, I'm overall impressed with them. But again, I have the Alter Flandra, and I do want the Alter Amelia, so unfortunately these guys are going to be a skip. So next up we have a weird one that I was contemplating pre-ordering, which is this Azure Lane John Bart 1/7 New Year version by Wing. So this one is kind of weird. So starting off with the picture, I think she looks gorgeous. I think the design is very nice, and they do take quite a bit of like elements from this original illustration and put it in the figure. They just don't include that circular background and some of those like lanterns like on the side. But other than that, I feel like, you know, it's still very nice overall. Now, kind of the weird thing about this one is that she's already up for pre-order, but you do have these kind of user photos which were uploaded like a day ago, and she's still unpainted. So I'm guessing that they just did a sort of like a digital like render of the figure, and they like painted it digitally. It's really confusing. So yeah, I might just leave some of these like comments up while I talk a little bit. If you want to pause, then go ahead and read them. But yeah, it's kind of weird that they just did like, you know, they just did the coloring, I guess, digitally. Someone correct me if I'm wrong about this. I'm probably wrong, but yeah, it's just kind of weird. So yes, I'll quickly jump to Akimama, where she is up for pre-order for 200 USD, and if that is the case, I mean, it might be the case, I think that's excellent pricing for what you're getting for this whole figure. Obviously, shipping is going to be quite expensive, but yeah, it's just kind of a shame that, like, and it's just, I shouldn't say it's a shame, I think it's just kind of weird that they did this whole thing with her, where she's technically still unpainted, but they painted her digitally and they put her for pre-order. So yeah, there's that. And I think she's supposed to come out in January of 2024. But for me, because I'm trying to save up by that time, it's a skip for me. Next, we have one that I said I was quite disappointed about, and I feel like it's a little bit better. This is the original Pink Bunny by Union Creative. So, by D-Smile, this is an original illustration by D-Smile. Very cute original illustration. So, the prototype had its issues. That eye was looking like absolute trash. And then we get to the painted version, which definitely looks a little bit better. I feel like they fixed the eyes. And I guess it was just some pictures that I saw of her on here, which I don't know if they do or do not have. Yeah, I feel like they removed those pictures, but the hair on her was looking quite dark. Think like Vocaloid Gumi kind of green. Here it's looking a little bit better, and honestly I feel like Union Creative improved it. But I'm probably gonna skip it because I feel like Union Creative is kind of hit or miss with their quality. And yeah, but I feel like they improved it overall from that horrible looking prototype last time. Now the very last one that finally freaking got colored and looks absolutely gorgeous. This is the Fate Grand Order Shootin' Doji 1/7 caster by QuezQ. Looking absolutely stunning. I really love the colors on her. Unfortunately, that's like the only picture. But this Shootin' Doji figure looks excellent. The colors on her are very vibrant. I kind of like some translucent elements to it. Her gourd kind of looks a little bit translucent. And I like the pose, and I really do want a Shootin' Doji figure. Unfortunately, some of them in the aftermarket are expensive, like the Assassin QuezQ one, and I think the Max Factory one is also quite expensive. There is the Festival Portrait version, which I think is actually on sale on AmiAmi, but I kind of don't want that one. It looks fantastic and people have been praising it, but I do kind of want like a Shootin' Doji in like her, like, you know, Assassin class, or in case the Caster class, which this looks excellent. I'm just hoping and praying to God it's not too expensive. It should not be as expensive as that Altria Lancer Alter figure that's like over 400, I believe, USD. But I'm super impressed with QuezQ on this one. It has been a while, you know, a very long time, and she's finally colored. And I'm very much looking forward to her, so I am considering picking her up in the future. So yes, I guess some other quick figures I do want to talk about that unfortunately aren't up on my list because they took forever to load and such. So quickly going to some that weren't on my figure collection that I wanted to point out. We have this figure right here by Lamoy Figures. I think her name is Tora or something like that. I might put the name up on the side. That black and white hair gets me every time, and I like her face. I like this design. I thought these guys were like a circle or something, but unfortunately I just don't see this one on my figure collection, but I really dig this character's design overall. She looks absolutely stunning. Next up, we have Magi Arts. Some of them I want to point out. I do like this girl with this like sort of like gothic sort of style, I guess you can call it, with all this detail in her outfit. It's supposed to be Alice in Wonderland themed. But we have these two right here, which are actually illustrated by Star Shadow Magic. One of them is a rabbit, and one of them is, the one on the right is a bat. I really like the bat girl. She looks fantastic. Both of these designs look fantastic, and this one is also, you know, Star Shadow Magic. They already have a painted figure of this one. Supposed to be, I guess she's also supposed to be a rabbit. Also looks stunning, so yes. Like, these two illustrations I really do like, and then I also do like the Alice one from the Sculptor's Thing. She looks fantastic. So yes, that was a very long list, but there's just some figures that really caught my eye that I thought I would point out. Obviously, there's some that I kind of want to pre-order more than others. You know, some that I might decide to wait for depending on the price tag of them as well as the release date. But yeah, definitely have like a lot of personal favorites from this one, which I'll probably, you know, talk about quickly in the outro. So yes, we're at the end of this list. This might be a two-part video just because of how long, you know, how many items I put in the Wonder Festival, you know, section of the video. So yeah, that pretty much concludes, this list, so we'll get on to the outro right now. So, that overall concludes this video. At the time I'm recording this, I feel like I'm gonna have to make this into a two-parter with just how much I talked and stuff, but I'll quickly go through like some personal favorites that I'm like contemplating ordering or just really stood out to me the most. So, kind of Nendoroids. There's Toji. Honestly, it's not the most like appealing Nendoroid I feel like from this announcement, but I want a Toji figure. Again, I might, get this Nendoroid if Good Smile does him justice, because if he doesn't come what I feel like he's supposed to come with, I'm gonna skip him, I'm gonna be disappointed, and I'm gonna be upset. So yes, it's friggin' Toji, I don't know what else to say. I also, in terms of Nendoroids, like the Vampire Miku announcement, the Amemiya V Shoujo for her design, and also, Mitsuri, Demon Slayer Nendoroid, and I also do really like the Hollow Nendoroid doll. In terms of scale figures, I do like the Solaran Toys Hakure Reimu, and I do like also the Sakura Hakure Reimu, and I like both for different reasons, so I'm gonna have to pick and choose which one. I like both of them for different reasons. Again, with the Furyu or F-Next one or whatever it is, just the pose is a little bit awkward. And I do like the overall sculpt work and what I'm seeing for the Plantopia alpha figure, but just the fact that they listed the price already and she's 40,000 yen, it kind of sucks. But I do like, of course, the sort of like, she does have some like Sakura elements to her, so it's like, it's kind of disappointing that she is the price that she is. But I mean, that is what the cost of figures are nowadays. And from the Wonder Festival itself, I do like the two Zhongli garage kits that were announced, or were shown. He looks fine as hell, so, kudos to the people who sculpted him. I think they did a fantastic job. There's also the Kinako palette set of figures, which are going to be, hopefully under 100 USD, which, looking forward to collect. We also have the, devilishly fashionable line of figures by Saitom that are being continued, which I think is nice because I feel like it's obviously been quite a while since we had the last one. I also like, of course, the Mitako figure or illustration that is going to be made by Wonderful Works. I really do think she has a very cute design. There's also the Reverse Studio Mushroom Girl number 3. Very excited to see another one of those lovely girls be put into figure form. And there's also the Design Coco Hatsune Miku figures, the Thunderbolt, and the Senbon Sakura. Their sculpts look excellent so far. I'm very excited to see those two colored. And then we have, some Spirit Tail, like Miku figures. I really wish that the one with the pen was colored. I'm very much looking forward to see the color work on that one. And then I do think that the 15th Anniversary Star version looks excellent in terms of paintwork. Looks absolutely gorgeous overall. And then we also have one that, two that I'm like very much like thinking of like closely pre-ordering, which is the Suiyu 1/7 by Wing. Sculpt looks excellent. I cannot wait to see her painted. And the Kosaka Wakamo looks excellent. Her design is definitely one of my favorite of like the Blue Archive characters I've seen, so interested to see her price point on that, because I really do want that figure in my collection. And then I feel like really like the last one, or actually I should also say the Katsuragi 1/4 I think looks fantastic. Again, a large 1/4 figure with a lot of energy in the pose, which I do quite like. And then of course the big one, which is the Shuten Doji caster finally getting painted. I think she looks absolutely gorgeous and stunning. Colors look great. Hopefully, again, the price is reasonable. So overall, though, I have to say that probably my top figure, or very close to the top, favorite figure from this figure festival announcement has to be the Oberon Altair figure. He just looks absolutely stunning as an unpainted prototype. I feel like I love the pose, the base. I'm very excited to see him colored. Again, I'm hoping the price is reasonable because I really do want him in my collection. I am literally willing to dedicate a month to him if I need to because he looks fine as hell. So all I gotta say, I'm just super duper excited for this Oberon figure to be painted. So yes, that concludes, maybe part 2 of my figure festival's personal highlights. I'm interested to see what some of your favorites were from these. What were your favorite announcements, and what are you interested in pre-ordering? For me, there is like a couple. Again, the ones I starred, I'm like leaning towards pre-ordering, or, depending on price and release date, that'll determine things. Obviously some I'm clearly way more excited to possibly pre-order right away than others. So that overall concludes this video. If you did enjoy this video and you feel like it, take the time to subscribe to my channel, to like and comment and such. And yeah, so thank you all so much again for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are, and take it easy. Goodbye! So of course, before I end the video, I would like to give a shout out to my Sakura supporter patrons, and that includes Simon Ta. Thank you so much again for taking the time to donate to my Patreon, and I hope you do like the art piece that I made for you. So yes, I wish you all the best. And yeah, that overall concludes the video at this point, so I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are, and once again, take it easy. Goodbye!